This is my friend Austin. Austin attends a struggling school in one of the poorest neighborhoods of our city. And despite the work of his dedicated teachers and his caring administrators, his school has received a failing grade from the State Department of Education for many years. Almost everyone who attends Austin's school is poor. Austin struggles to make it through the day, already diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. He often decompensates in the afternoon, so he misses a lot of class. Austin's parents, like access to after-school tutoring and other enrichment, are non-existent. Society demands that his school perform better on standardized tests and other measurements, but we really do very little to change the circumstances that could help Austin perform better. His school is actually the single most functional part of his life. Despite all of that, he is a charming and sweet little boy. The physical environment around Austin is getting ready to change, with new built environments that will provide him one day the opportunity to gain higher education, to perhaps have a better job, or to live a healthier lifestyle. However, he may never even access these amenities if we don't change the circumstances in which he is growing up. I often wonder about Austin's parents and why they aren't here. I wonder if the barriers of race or gender or sexual orientation, if they were a single parent or if they were just poor, if that's what kept them from providing for Austin, from taking him to school, from taking him to soccer, from getting him tutoring, reading to him. For whatever reason, they're just not here. And I wonder if the blockage of the social justice movements of the last 200 years not being complete are the reason why. And that's what I want to focus on today. The need to complete the major social justice movements of the last 2 decades to make sure that Austin's parents have the ability to succeed. When you think about this, you can look at this example. This is a keg of beer. A keg of beer is part of a certain rite of passage that each and every one of us lucky enough to go to college is familiar with. This is a red plastic cup. The red plastic cup is used to partake the beer at the party which we all wish to be invited to when we arrived on campus. We all wanted to be invited to that party. We still want to be invited to that party. And I want Austin to get invited to that party. At the beginning of our American experience, the founding fathers, and they were all that, fathers, issued the invitations and indicated that we were all created equal. As we know, that wasn't exactly the case. We may have been created equally, but when the benefits of society were doled out, most of the spoils went to white male Protestant landowners of European descent. That being the case, the fairest system of government yet created on the face of the earth began, and we have worked over the past 2 centuries to perfect that union. And it's that perfection, the part that is not yet done, that we owe to Austin's parents, and that is to complete the social justice movements that will allow them to fully participate and provide for Austin. Invitations to the party were hard to swing, but over the years, many groups have gotten in line with the bouncer and looked for an opportunity to attend the party. We fought a civil war over the party. We imposed Jim Crow-style restrictions to keep people out of the party. We gave people different sized cups. We lied about the address of the party. During the 20th century, African Americans worked in many ways to try to swing an invite. They protested, they used the courts, and laws did change. But somehow, the invitation always still got lost in the mail. When it did arrive, it often had the wrong address. sometimes the wrong time. Sometimes people already at the party were so disturbed at their new guests that they took the keg and took it to a secret private location and hid it from their new guests. Women have been working for a long time to get an invitation to the party, only to arrive to discover that they were given an 8-ounce cup of beer instead of the 12-ounce cup that the men had. They were told they shouldn't take beer from the men because the men had families to raise and communities to lead. Women could come to the party, but they weren't allowed to sit at the bar. Even today, when women arrive to the party, their cup still only contains 10.08 ounces of beer for every 12 ounces of men. So the struggle continues on how we ration the beer and decide who gets an invitation to the party. Austin can see what's going on in the Arts District just like you and I can. He can see the new restaurants, the new apartments, the new built infrastructure, the public sculptures. He and his family will benefit from the improved safety created from a vibrant neighborhood. And they'll also benefit from the commerce that is brought to that portion of our community. But will they share in the celebratory spirit in the same way a young urban professional might? Austin can also see what's going on North Main Street. We're about to celebrate the extension of our very first protected bike path from our renewed downtown to our historic baseball stadium. But again, success is going to be measured in concerts and festivals and restaurants. Will Austin ever access any of those amenities? Do we risk having our own unconscious biases and our own personal desires blocking the very changes that could also benefit Austin's family? And that's the call to action that I have today. Something I call intentional inclusiveness, including the wants, needs, and dreams of the least amongst us as we plan for what all of us will share. Every time we celebrate a hip new restaurant or a club with comedy shows, we need to be celebrating new bus stops that assist a factory worker get to her job 20 minutes more quickly. Every time we celebrate a new festival or concert, we need to be celebrating a brand new laundromat. Only by including the wants and needs of the least amongst us will we have the kind of renaissance that we truly want for our community. Renaissance does not merely consist of changing a neighborhood from poverty to prosperity. We will only truly transform our community in the way we will be proud if we bring prosperity to those in poverty. Otherwise, we are merely issuing invitations for them to move, not to attend the party. Intentional inclusiveness is difficult. It requires us to include the least amongst us in the decisions of what we will all receive. Some of us who are already at the party may fear that there is not enough beer if we do that. And in the beginning, that may even turn out to be the case. But there has always eventually been enough beer in that keg to serve everyone at the party. And that keg has always gotten bigger when we have invited other people in. I know that we have to trust that that will be the case again as we engage in community development and renewal in our own city. I know that Austin deserves that, and I know the basic human dignity of each of our fellow residents does as well. Thank you.